He took a road trip in the all-electric Ford e-Transit van in Lateramidi. He was amazed by how easy it was to charge over in Europe,
Yeah, he was saying that he spent more on tolls than he did on electricity.
which is kind of mind-blowing when you think about, you know, the cost of gas these days.
I know, it's crazy.
It really highlights the infrastructure gap
Yeah. So,
between Europe and the US.
yeah, they've been investing in this for years, and it's really paying off now.
Yeah. And I mean, meanwhile, here in the US, we're still playing catch up.
Yeah, it's if you've ever taken an EV road trip in the U.S., you know, it can be a challenge sometimes.
It's like you're searching for a needle in a haystack.
It really is.
It's a challenge, and it's something that, needs to be addressed if we want to see mass adoption of EVs in this country.
Makes you wonder if that gives Europe like a competitive advantage.
Oh, for sure.
Having that really strong charging network.
Well, I mean, it makes a big difference for consumers. If you know that you can charge your car easily wherever you go,
Yeah.
that removes a major barrier to entry.
Right, it's like the difference between having a gas station on every corner versus having to drive 20 miles out of your way to find one. And that convenience factor is huge.
Huge, especially when you're trying to convince people to make the switch.
So we've got the rise of these Chinese EV makers. We've got this infrastructure gap. And then we've got this whole debate about hybrids versus full EVs. What's Farley's take on that?
Well, he actually sees hybrids as kind of a stepping stone to full EVs.
Like a gateway drug.
Yeah, you could say that.
To the electric revolution.
And he points to, Ford's success with hybrid trucks, particularly in the U.S. market.
Yeah, those are really popular. I mean, what is it? Is it just the fuel efficiency, or is there something else going on there?
Well, fuel efficiency is a big factor. But there's also, features like exportable power, which is really appealing to a lot of truck buyers.
Exportable power, what's that?
So you can use the truck's battery to power tools, appliances, even your house in an emergency.
Oh, wow.
So it's a big selling point for contractors, people who live off grid, people who just want to be prepared for power outages.
So it's like having a big generator built into your truck.
Exactly.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and it really highlights how hybrid vehicles can cater to very specific customer needs.
Right.
Especially in a market like the U.S. where trucks are so popular.
Yeah, for sure.
But ultimately, Farley believes that even those hybrid truck buyers will eventually transition to full EVs as the technology improves, as the charging infrastructure expands.
So that's the bet he's making.
That's the bet, and it's a bet that a lot of other car companies are making as well.
Yeah, it's a gamble, but it's a gamble that's driven by some pretty compelling factors. I mean, when you think about it, EVs offer so many advantages over gas-powered cars.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
They're quieter, they're more efficient, they require less maintenance, and of course, they're better for the environment.
And then there's the performance aspect, too.
Oh, yeah, the performance is incredible.
Electric motors have instant torque, which means you get that amazing acceleration that EV drivers just rave about.
Yeah, it's a totally different driving experience.
Totally different, and it's winning over a lot of people.
Yeah, it really is so. We've got this perfect storm brewing, right? We've got advancements in battery tech. We've got this expanding charging infrastructure, growing consumer demand, and a push from governments all over the world to transition to cleaner transportation.
It all points to a future where EVs are the dominant form of transportation.
But as we've seen, it's not happening overnight.
No, it's a process.
There are challenges for both car companies and consumers.
Definitely.
We talked about the infrastructure gap, the need for more affordable EVs, and then just changing people's perceptions about cars in general.
Yeah, it's a complex equation.
It is, but one thing's for sure, this EV revolution is underway.
It is.
And it's going to be fascinating to see how it all plays out.
Absolutely. And, I think one of the most intriguing aspects of all of this is the role that these companies like Xiaomi are playing.
Yeah, it's really mind-blowing to think that a cell phone company could be a major player in the car industry.
I know. But as Farley's experience shows, they bring a fresh perspective.
They do. They really do.
A different set of skills.
Yeah, they're not burdened by the legacy of the traditional car industry.
Right. They can come in and approach things in a new way.
Yeah.
They're thinking about the car as a connected device, as an extension of our digital lives, and they're leveraging their expertise in software, user interface design, consumer electronics, to create a driving experience that's more intuitive, more enjoyable, more connected than ever before.
It's a challenge to the establishment.
It is. It's forcing companies like Ford to really step up their game.
Adapt or die.
Adapt and evolve, yeah.
And that brings us back to Jim Farley and his Skunkworks team. He's clearly recognized the threat, but he's also seen the opportunity.
Right, and he's assembled this team of talented engineers and designers from all different backgrounds,
Yeah.
He's giving them the freedom to experiment, to push the boundaries, to come up with innovative solutions.
It's a pretty bold move.
It is.
Shows that he's not afraid to shake things up.
To embrace new ways of thinking.
Yeah, basically create a startup within Ford, this lean and agile team that's focused on developing the next generation of EVs.
And it's not just about the technology, it's about understanding, the changing needs and expectations of customers.
Right, and I think that's where his experience with that Xiaomi really comes in.
Exactly.
Because he saw firsthand how a tech company approaches the car as a consumer product, focused on user experience, connectivity, this seamless integration with our digital lives.
And he's using those insights to shape Ford's EV strategy.
Yeah, it's a fascinating case study in how a legacy company can adapt and innovate in the face of all this disruption.
And it's a reminder that, the old rules don't apply anymore. The companies that succeed are going to be the ones that are willing to learn, to adapt, and to embrace the future no matter where it comes from.
So we've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive, from the rise of Chinese EV makers to the challenges of charging infrastructure, to the debate about hybrids versus full EVs. But I think the most important takeaway is this. The automotive industry is at a crossroads. Yeah, big time.
We're seeing a fundamental shift in how cars are designed, manufactured, and consumed.
It's happening faster than a lot of people expected.
It really is.
I mean, just a few years ago, Tesla was like the undisputed king. And now you've got companies like BYD and Xiaomi, really challenging that dominance.
Yeah, it's a testament to just how quickly things are moving in this industry.
It really is.
The old rules just don't apply anymore.
Nope.
The companies that are willing to embrace change, those are the ones that are going to make it.
And it's not just about, being first to market with the latest tech. It's about understanding what people want,
Yeah.
creating that seamless user experience, building that ecosystem.
Yeah, and what really struck me was Farley's story about, how his family, back in the day, they were kind of ashamed that he worked for Toyota.
Oh, yeah.
It just shows you how ingrained those perceptions of the car industry are, Right, and those perceptions were shaped by, decades of competition between American, European, and Japanese car makers. But now we're seeing this whole new global dynamic emerge with Chinese manufacturers playing a leading role.
Yeah, and it's happening so quickly. It seems like just yesterday we were all marveling at the Tesla Model S. Now BYD is outselling Toyota in some markets.
It's crazy how fast things are changing.
It's the power of disruption.
It is.
When a new technology comes along and addresses a fundamental need in a better way, it can totally upend entire industries.
Absolutely.
And that's exactly what's happening right now.
Yeah, and Farley's decision to create that skunkworks team, that's a clear acknowledgement of this disruption.
Yeah, he knows that Ford can't afford to just sit back and rest on their laurels. They got to innovate and adapt if they want to stay in the game.
Right, and by bringing in, talent from Tesla, from Formula One, from these outside sources, he's basically saying, Ford's serious about winning this EV race, and they're willing to do whatever it takes.
It's a bold move.
It is.
It says a lot about his leadership style.
He's not afraid to take risks, to challenge the status quo, to learn from anyone, even his competitors.
And I think that's the key takeaway from this whole conversation. The future of the car industry belongs to those who are willing to embrace change, challenge assumptions, constantly push the boundaries.
A future where technology and sustainability go hand in hand, where driving is more connected and more enjoyable than ever. And the lines between traditional car companies and those tech giants, they're getting blurrier and blurrier.
It's a future that's being shaped right now, and it's one that we should all be excited to be a part of.
Absolutely.
So the next time you see an EV on the road, don't just think of it as a car. Think of it as a symbol of this incredible transformation that's happening all around us.
Think of it as a glimpse into a future where mobility is cleaner, more efficient, and more connected.
And remember, as Jim Farley has shown us, the companies that succeed in this new world will be the ones that are willing to listen, to learn, and to adapt.
Keep your eyes open, stay curious, embrace the ride.
The future of mobility is electric, and it's going to be an exciting one.
It is.
All right, that's going to do it for this deep dive. Thanks for joining us, and make sure to check out some of our other deep dives where we cover all sorts of fascinating topics related to the future of tech, business, and, well, pretty much anything that catches our attention.
Yeah, we're always exploring new ideas.
We are. So until next time, stay curious and keep on learning.
Cheers!
Cheers.